Hey everybody, Tactic Angel here. We're back on the World of Tanks on the PlayStation 4. We're in Hidden Valley. I will be happy to tell you exactly where this is if you could come give me some fire support. But we are tanking today in the Panzer 4 Hydrostat. I've talked a little bit about the Panzer 4 Hydrostat in the context of how it measures up against the other Tier 5 German medium tanks in the game. So the girls in Panzer and the infamous Ram Panzer, the 5.4. I had a lot of positive things to say about this. Let me talk a little bit about my love of the Hydrostat. Hydrostat has that lovely 7.5 centimeter KWK 40 L48 gun that you see on all of the mid-tier German vehicles. Absolutely all of them. And it's got a good deal of mobility. It's got a solid chunk of hit points. As you can see, it's got 580. That's a little bit more than the Panzer 4. But it also has less armor. As you can see, you kind of zip around pretty good in this tank. I really love it for its mobility and its pretty decent gun depression. That gun it's got is solid. It's going to punch through a little bit more than 100 millimeters of armor if it hits. I think I just got the spaced armor on the side of that tank. I didn't actually hit the real part of it. Anyway, we're rolling out on the left here. As you saw, we kind of stopped off at that little hill to get a few early shots. Those early shots are not... It's not a good idea to hang out there because you're going to get shredded from the middle hill, and you're also going to get focused by artillery if you sit there. And you shouldn't be surprised if you get hit by artillery if you sit there, because you are as in the open as physically possible on this map. We're getting shots into the flank. It's on the hill, and now we're moving on. We've switched over to premium rounds to get through that KV-1. I should probably switch back at this point, but there's a lot of things that are about to happen that show I am not paying a lot of attention to what's going on in the game. Here we're shooting at a Ram 2. Ram 2's a pretty tough nut to crack in terms of its frontal armor. It's pretty bouncy. As you can see, even with the premium rounds, there are plenty of areas where it's not a guarantee, so to speak. But I definitely don't need it in dealing with that tank. And I probably don't need it in dealing with the Panzer 4H. And I definitely don't need it in dealing with this little Swedish tank destroyer. That said, I am not paying attention. I haven't even realized at this point that my gunner is dead, and he's been dead for like a minute. We go ahead, resurrect him just in time to do some really solid gunnery there, and we're gonna move on to the base. At this point, one of their tanks is going to start capping, which means I'm going to stay in our base because I really hate losing when you're up this many tanks and nobody's responding to the base. In fact, hardly anybody can respond to the base because you can see on the mini-map there, the last medium tank that was back there got wasted, and it doesn't look like the tank destroyer was too worried about moving back. So this is pretty much going to be who can cap out. We're going to win. Obviously, they have another heavy tank in the middle. That heavy tank in the middle really does need to come and tap us in order for them to win. I don't think that artillery is going to play too much of a role for the rest of the game. But as you can see, like, this is a solid little tank. It's got a nice rate of fire. It's got really nice gun handling for a tier 5 tank. If you are in the market, I would say this is probably my favorite tier 5 medium tank at the moment. It comes with preferential matchmaking, so you'll never be completely hosed. And you don't have to wear the badge of shame for being a person who runs around in a Panzer 5.4 all the time. Which is fun, but, I mean, that tank is bad for the game. So, you should have a little bit of shame. Here we are at the top of the list, 1873 damage. Pretty solid damage coming out of a little tank, and in a pretty short match. So, there's a lot of potential for what you can do in this tank. Hope you've enjoyed the replay, though. I will see you on the next one.